Yo, you know, if you have $25,000, you're able to make some good money. Like just off of offers. Like you put 25K into Discover, like on a savings offer, you get like $200. You could put 25K like in other accounts, and you get, for example, different bonuses and so on. So with 25K moving around up here, there, like every month, not every month, you have to wait like for a certain amount of time, but you're able to get a decent amount of money just off of bonuses and so on. So that's also something, like in a year, you might be able to make an extra $1,000. And $1,000, that's the thing, it's not that impressive once you run the numbers, okay? Because $1,000 divided by 25,000, you actually just made about like 4% of your money. It's not that decent at all. But you could potentially look up more offers and see if there's anything better to actually do. So whenever I make these videos, I'm always very careful to mention a few very important details, okay guys? Banks, they're kind of slimy, whether it's the good ones or the bad ones. They all have different incentives, different motives to actually just get you to put your money in and make money off of your money. That's their business, that's their deal. And for us, we're also kind of slimy in the sense that we just want to put our money somewhere where we can trust these people, where our money is secure, we have customer service is great. So every person is kind of looking out for their best thing ever in a sense. But in reality, as far as, for example, a high yield savings accounts, a lot of banks go ahead and basically say, hey, we're going to give you a crazy interest rate, and they get you to deposit money in. A month later, they switch it, and now you're like, well, I switched my money over and now you guys are trash. So it's like a switch and bait thing. So for this video, my focus was basically on putting your money into banks that are, one, FDIC insured up to 250K, even more potentially. Number two, they have great customer service. Number three, they are competitive. So it's not like some new account that's offering some crazy bonus, but you have to fill out, for example, 5 whole things, deposit $1 million, have a job, have a direct deposit. No. I don't want any of those things, just a basic account. And these basic accounts offer pretty good rates overall, and again, they are competitive. Now, number 4 is the one I actually use. So if you want to see which one I use, by the way, that's number 4. So wait until that point in the video. And as always, guys, like this video and tap out also subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. And by the way, remember, the only money I put in a savings accounts is my emergency money. And on top of that money I'm going to use in the next like 1 year or 2 years or so, okay? I don't put a lot of money in there because the goal is not to get rich off of savings accounts, because that's pretty stupid to try to do, because it's always correlates with inflation and Fed rates. In reality, you're not going to get rich putting your money in a savings account whatsoever. Now, number 1, guys, it's going to be, I have everything right here with all the details, okay? I want to be very specific here. Number 1 is going to be Ally Bank. Ally Bank has been around since like around 2009, like fully functioning Ally Bank. They've been around in the 1990s, something like that, but fully functioning Ally Bank we know as an online bank, whatever, 2009 is when they've fully been around, okay? And they are competitive. They're one of the number 1 banks out there. They're trusted. You're good to go with them, and they're also FDIC insured and everything you like. And they also offer a diverse amount of products, from loans and mortgages and all that extra stuff that I really don't care about. But overall, as far as savings, there is something very attractive about their savings accounts. Number 1 is, okay, they offer right now a 3.75% yield. That is pretty good and competitive. But on top of that, they also have, for example, buckets. So you're actually able to put money in and divvy it up according to which bucket you actually want to put money in, okay? So if you're trying to save, for example, 1 for a laptop, 1 for a phone, 1 for something else, you're able to actually have all 3 of those budgets, or buckets in a sense, and put money into each and every single one of those buckets as you actually see fit, okay? So that's also a pretty cool feature that I actually like. Number 2 is going to be Synchrony Bank. Now, these people work with Amazon, Mattress Firm. I think they even bought like the PayPal credit side of PayPal. So they're a big company. They're also FDIC insured, and for a very long time, they've offered some of the most competitive CDs out there, because their CDs right now are actually offering somewhere like about like 4% or so, which is pretty good. But their high yield savings right now is offering around 3.90. Well, no, actually, I stand to be corrected here. They actually have what they call a no penalty CD. So you're actually able to deposit money, take it out whenever you want to without any penalties, and that offers you like around 3.90. But their high yield is about 4%. What I mean is this, guys, if you put money into your savings accounts, you get 4%. But if you put money into a CD for the next 11 months, you actually get 3.90%. You might say, Tommy, why would I do that? Because guess what? Their high yield savings can change from 4% to 2%, but their CD, they have to honor it for those 11 months and 3.90%. So if you have money, you know you're probably not going to use in the next 11 months, you can put that money in there, and that money can earn you a solid 3.90% without you having to worry about it. Now, no, by the way, I've dealt with Synchrony Bank for a long time, and their customer service is pretty good. Their service is pretty good overall, and I like them. I had them for Mattress Firm. I had them for my Amazon credit card when I actually had credit cards. And they've always had good customer service, reliable, efficient, and everything else. Okay, so number 3 is going to be CIT Bank with a little spin. So they actually offer, for example, 0.25% on balances below 5,000. Balances above 5,000, you actually get, for example, 4.75%. Now the average person doesn't even have $1,000, so the average person is kind of like screwed over. And if you have, for example, let's say 5,600, my guess is you'll get 0.25% on the 5,000, and then you only get, for example, the what is it, the 4.75% on the other side. Okay, so it's kind of like a little trick here and there, but if you have good money, then you can put it in there, and that can earn you a good solid interest rate or so on. Now, what's the con? The con is this can always change. Okay, they can always switch the rates, and that's what I call bait and switch. That's also a possibility, so keep that in mind. Now, you also have number 4, which, by the way, CIT Bank has what they call, according to American Banker, the #1 most human experience. I don't know what that means exactly. Like, what is like the #1 human experience like reward for? But that's what they actually have a reward for that. So that's interesting. Okay, but number 4, which is the one I use, and by the way, they only offer 3.60%. They're actually not that crazy, but overall, that is Discover Bank. Now, why do I use Discover Bank? Well, in reality, I've been using Discover for a very long time. Not the banking section, but just like the credit card section, and their customer service is absolutely impeccable. But overall, the reason I chose their bank for my savings account is usually because I trust them. That's number 1. Number 2, they're always competitive, and they're not always involved in a game of like switch and switcheroo and all this stuff. They stay competitive, and that's what I like about them the most. And there's no crazy requirements like, hey, you got to put in extra money, you have a minimum, or you only get X on this amount of money. No, you got on the full amount, and that's basically it. So 3.60% on your whole balance. It's pretty solid to me because I'm a service. And if basically companies raise it up even more, Discover is probably going to raise it even more based on Fed rates. In reality, they are competitive, and that's what I like about them. Okay, there's no games here. They're competitive. And by the way, I am waiting for the Discover debit card to come back because they had a debit card, and that debit card allowed you to get 1% cash back. And that's pretty good because I don't use credit cards. So getting back some cash back, which is 1%, which is trash, is decent in a sense. Okay. Now, number 5 is going to be the cap. By the way, one feature I don't like about Discover, or I wish they actually had, is basically in order to have different savings accounts, you literally have to open up multiple savings accounts with different like account numbers and everything else. Okay, so that's pretty annoying. I wish they had, for example, like buckets, like Ally Bank, where you're actually able to have money, for example, for emergencies, money for your taxes, money for your investments, whatever you actually want to like save money for. You're actually able to have it all there without having to open up a bunch of different accounts. But then again, it takes like 5 minutes to open up an account. So I have 3 right now, and I don't really mind. It's not a big deal, but I wish they actually had that feature. That would be pretty cool. Now, you also have number 5, which is basically Capital One, 360 savings. And they actually offer 3.40%. And my editor, Paul, the guy editing this video right here, he actually has this one. And they actually allow him to have multiple accounts. To me, that's pretty cool. They also have good customer service, which is actually pretty good to me. So overall, guys, all these accounts are fairly solid. They're all pretty good. And you have other ones out there, for example, like SoFi Money. I don't like it because you have, for example, certain requirements you have to meet. You also have Markets by Goldman Sachs. That's pretty good too. There are a lot of options. But overall, what I don't recommend usually gonna be like big banks, because big banks, they always just try to make money off of you. I remember my first account was with Chase, and ever since then, Chase is not ever, in my memory, I can fully say, gone above 1%. I've never seen Chase pay anybody 1% on the savings. Like me personally, and I've been with them since like about like 19 years old. In my memory, I may be wrong, okay? I don't want to be sued here, but I've never seen them go like that high whatsoever. So that's not what you want. All right, so again, guys, thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Comment down below exactly which one you're leaning most towards. And by the way, you also have Wealthfront. But my main thing, guys, I always want to have my money somewhere that I trust, where customer service is great, and they have competitive rates, okay? Because Wealthfront at one point, they were #1, then they weren't #1, and then they kind of kept switching things over, and the subject like, so I just really did not want to, I really didn't want to deal with that whatsoever. At this very moment, that's why I use Discover. But again, I'm not loyal to any banks. I'm always liable to change if I have like another better product out there. But Discover has been great for a very long time, and to me that means a lot. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. Up here is another video, over here is my face. As always, long term team officially out.